Let me welcome you, my dear students. This is our second learning lecture of discourse studies, in which we are going to discuss about the difference between the discourse analysis and critical discourse analysis. If you people have any assignment about what is the difference between the discourse analysis and critical discourse analysis, then this lecture will help you out, means what is the difference between discourse analysis and critical discourse analysis. And you are also going to discuss in this lecture or learn about the critical discourse analysis and discourse analysis too. We are also going to discuss about the theories of theorist or philosopher about the discourse analysis and critical discourse analysis. So let's start our lecture with what is the difference between the discourse analysis and critical discourse analysis. It's quite simple by saying that discourse analysis is a fundamental term, whereas critical discourse analysis is a derived term. So we can say that the analysis of the language at the level of text is called discourse analysis. If we talk about the analysis of language at the level of text and context, that is called critical discourse analysis. We can say that the study of context is the differentiating feature of critical discourse analysis. If we talk about that, critical discourse analysis is the study of invisible meaning beyond the level of text, that is called critical discourse analysis. So surface level of text analysis is called discourse analysis, while study of invisible meaning and at the level of social and contextual level analysis is called critical discourse analysis. If we talk about discourse analysis, it's quite simple. Means it is means of shaping, understand in education and mass media is called discourse. So means of creating and perpetuating means the means of perpetuating is push forward. Understanding among masses is called discourse. So discourse is an identity kit. Discourse is a language in action in society. If we talk about that language that shapes our cognition, means mindset, is called discourse, because language has sociological and psychological function. If we talk about semiotics, means that is the study of sign and symbols and the way they carry meaning in context. If we talk about the semiotian, it is the language is a social semiotics. It exists in society, it changes with the change in society. So what is critical discourse analysis? We can simply say that it is a fundamental term, while critical analysis is derived term. If we talk about the politics, history, society, sociology, psychology analysis is called critical discourse analysis. If we talk about a word, means another black day in the history of Pakistan. But do you get this meaning? Means an other day means shows this is an other day. We have find in the back a day that is called black day. Means this is not first black day, this is an other day. Means this is the second, third or the fourth black day. So text surface level analysis is called discourse analysis. When it relates the social or context analysis is called critical discourse analysis. We can simply say attacking the text from multiple angles is called critical discourse analysis. This is an attempt to explore the layers of meanings embedded or hidden in the text. It becomes critical discourse analysis. So ideological analysis of language is called critical discourse analysis. Why do we think that ideological post-mortem of language to find reality is called critical discourse analysis? If we talk about the discursive event, that is the use of language in action in society among the uses. So function of language at micro level is discourse. So this is all about discourse analysis and critical discourse analysis. Now we are going to discuss about the philosopher or the thinker and their thinking about the critical discourse analysis and discourse analysis. So let's start with the Ruth Wardick. Ruth Wardick that presented his theory 2001 and presented the discourse historic approach. He is of an opinion that discourse are deeply rooted into history, and we cannot understand or analyze discourses without having sound knowledge of history. It's quite simple that discourse is the historical approach. Discourse is deeply rooted in history. We cannot analyze discourse without having sound knowledge of discourse. So you can simply say, means if you have a good sound knowledge of history, you can easily understand the language. Then we talk about the Fairclough. What do Fairclough say? Another linguist, Fairclough, talks about the sociological function of discourse. He presented capital D and small d model. What does it mean? D studies the discourses at macro level. This includes discourses about social, political, economical issues, whereas small d is a language from the self-representation and description. If you are thinking about something that is totally your opinion, that is small d model. If we are discussing something that is belong to the social, political, economical thing, that is called capital D model. Then we are going to discuss about the Michael Foucault. So he presented in 2000 and discussed that the discourse in the light of power and different modalities of power. There are two kind of modes, discursive mode and coercive mode. Discursive mode includes textbook, media, schooling system, and the literary practices which educates the individual about moral ethics and right or wrong. On the other hand, there are also some coercive measurements, are the measures to enforce the law, like police system, military code. He is of the opinion that the coercive modes are easy come and easily go, and that's why their impact is not as long lasting as the discursive mode. If we talk about the Gramsci, he gives us the concept in 2000, and he gives us the concept of hegemony, that the rule of consent. That is to say, instead of ruling bodies, rules the mind. The concept allows the dominant to shape the mind of the submissive. This phenomena is also known as mind naturalizing. Then if we talk about the Robert Philipson, he is another linguist and presented the notion of linguistic imperialism that allows the ruling of a distant territory by forced thought, the help of powerful discourse, which may include violence, diplomacy, or both at the same time. We have discussed in discursive event that use of language in action in society among the users. So function of language at micro level is discourse with small d, whether discourse with capital D is at the level of macro level. So language and society are part and partial with each other. If we talk about the Marxist approach, it's quite simple. Rule of economy shaping reputation are the reperturing values, production, and we can say that language is a means of propagating and produce ideologies. So produce ideology in language and the propagate ideology. So we can say this is critical discourse analysis that highlights contemporary tendencies. Critical discourse analysis without context, it is fail. If you are not good in context, means you are fail in critical discourse analysis. If you don't have knowledge of context, it means you are not attacking the language with multiple dimensions. If we talk about the theoretical origin of CDA, for example, values are changed due to economy. Why? Economy shapes and reporter our ideologies, values. So critical discourse analysis is, it highlights contemporary tendencies. If we talk about Gramsci, he talks about hegemony, means winning the consent. Hegemony is the process of ruling the mind through language. Instead of ruling the bodies, rule the mind. Means if you are ruling the people by telling them they are slaves, means you are going to use hegemony, that you are ruling the mind through language. With the help of language, means hegemony is the winning the consent. Discourse is the knowledge system of human science. So power exists at various modalities. So modern form two types of power, discursive power and coercive power. If you talk about discursive, means long lasting, softness of power, that is soft power of textbook, language, media, literary practices and religion. It takes 40 to 50 years need to gain. If you talk about coercive, that is short term, that court, police and military, no time of live. If we talk about internalization, with the help of visual and oral thought, eyes and ears. So what is this? This is called hegemony, internalization. So things affect on you. Language is not only saying it is doing. If we talk about Michel Foucault, so he is French linguist and talks about political power, hegemony and power. A French philosopher and structuralist. Economy talks about economy is a dominant factor, ruler and rules. Class struggle through language, that privilege. He also discussed the privilege and privileging. If you talk about the Marx, means discourse is a privilege and privileging phenomena. He talks discourse is a knowledge system. Power in modern society is no more coherence. So why the discursive power, it is hegemonic. We are in indirect era, or we can say we are in direct era. Not only we learn the language, but also we are learning here the culture too. If we talk about the externalization, we behave like other things through their culture, is called externalization. We enter. So what is false consciousness? That is the set of ideas, belief, norms shared and practiced by an individual or group of individuals, are called ideology. There are many ideologies as are human beings. So we all have our own ideology, that positioning people in particular ways. So what is critical discourse analysis? Ideological analysis of language is critical discourse analysis, whereas ideological postmortem of language to find reality is called critical discourse analysis. If we talk about Karl Marx, he also discussed the class struggle, so privilege and privileging, and he also discussed the bourgeoisie. So general public or middle class, they are best fuel to fire. The people position the ideology fire. If you talk about discourse analysis, it is a branch of critical linguistics. If you talk about Kress and Hodge, he talks about how to analyze the visual discourses. When we or you change form of the language, the function is also changed. For example, I taught you last week. This shows another meaning. But if we talk last week, I taught you, the function of the language is changed here. If we talk about M.K. Halliday, he talks language has three types. If we talk about ideational, this is the way we arrange our ideas. Textual, how we make in text way. And interpersonal, so it is how we use in the society. What is powerful? Powerful is subject and powerless is object. If we talk about social semiotics, it changes with society, while language as a social semiotics. Language is, we can say it could, language is not simple as the people they use it. If we talk about language and visual images, it's quite simple. Language is not only we speak and write. Visual images are also language. New thinking given by new ideas, means given is visual, new what we interpret it. If we talk about cognitive, language shapes our mind. We are thinking about something, we are visualize something, then we interpret it, and we shapes that interpretation into our mind and makes language. That is called cognitive. If we talk about Van Dyke, he presented in 2006 and talks about the power, ideologies, inequality, distributions, and new colonization or new colonialism. That is, the structure is defined intermediary between social and cognition. Morality of religion for poor and morality of science for the rich. If we talk about Ruth Wardak, who presented 2001 Discourse Historical Approach, he talks about the language in action in society. That is coercive, when we are talking about the police, laws, military, and discursive, that textbook, schooling system, etc. If we talk about the Robert Phillipson, he is a linguist, and it is all about the linguistics imperialism, in ruling imperialism through forces. So this is all about our lecture, in which we have discussed the critical discourse analysis and discourse analysis. Means you can simply say that the difference between the critical discourse analysis and discourse analysis, and we have discussed different theories of philosopher or the thinker. So this is all about our lecture. Thank you so much. Good luck.